All right. So today I'm going to be talking about Google Sites. Uh, the purpose of doing a Google site would be creating a web page to get information out to parents, families, kids, however you want to use it. I've seen websites now used where teachers are putting their weekly homework on the website and kids can go see what they need to get done. I've seen some used for just links and information that the kids could access that web page for everything. So it's kind of up to um, what you want to do with it. So I came to a website called sites.google.com. Just type that in at the top, sites.google.com, and it brings you to this website here, which is not the main one you want to go to, but down here it says new Google Sites, and that's what you want to click on is new Google Sites. And that brings you into this website. If you look up here at the top, you'll notice it said sites.google.com/new. So in case you want to go there, it's sites.google.com and you can click the new Google Sites, or you can put the /new and it'll take you to the new sites. It kind of works like a tile. So each one of these is a website, either one that I've built or I'm working with other people on. So those are different websites. If you want to create a new one, there's a plus button in the bottom corner of your screen. You just hit the plus button to create a new website, and it'll pop up to where you have an untitled new web page that you're going to build. First thing you want to do, of course, is give it a title. So I'm going to call this one It's On. You can put in whatever title you want here. Okay, so you type in the title. There's not a whole lot of choices with fonts. It's not like there's a ton of fonts. So it's kind of title, heading, subheading, small or normal text is the way you can make it look. You can use bold, italicized. Oh, wait, got to highlight it. And bold, italicized if you want to use those. You can center it or justify it, and that's about it. Or you can link it to something if you want to link it. Okay. And that's pretty much what you can do with the title. There's not a whole lot of font stuff there. I can change the image. I can upload an image, so I can make my own kind of banner there. I can choose something off Google. However, I always give the thing to be very careful when you put an image from the internet on, because if you don't have copyright for it, you could get in trouble for using it. So I always tell people steer clear of stuff that's on the internet. Use pictures you've either created, made, or you can use the Google images that are here. When I do change image and select one. They have a variety of different kind of colorful images that you can choose from to make it look a little different. So I'll select that one and say select, and now you'll notice the background picture there has changed. Okay, now that's kind of just the header of the document. On the left or right hand side of your web page, you have a thing where you can insert. So I can insert a text box onto the web page. I can insert images. I can insert anything off my Google Drive. Um, and there's lots of other things, and I'll get back to that in a second. I can add pages, but I want to talk about themes here for a second. I can choose different themes. You'll notice I'm on simple theme. If I change a theme, you'll notice my page look kind of changes. So that's where you can choose one that you kind of like the looks for, and it gives you different font styles for each theme. Okay, and that's kind of all of your choices. You'll notice there's a little color here. That's the emphasis color. You can kind of select which emphasis color you like. Okay. And again, there's not a lot of decorative choices. So it's just kind of choosing the one that you like, choosing the emphasis color, and choosing the font style that you like, and then you're good to go. Okay. So those are the theme options that you have for making your page look a little different and rotating through those. And you can see there's only like 5 or 6 of them, and that's it. Now I'm going to go back to inserting because that's, of course, the most important thing. I'm going to insert a text box right here. You'll notice that what I get is a little box that shows up. On that box, I can type in whatever I want. Information. You will need to complete this week's. Okay, so I've done a little text box there. Again, I can highlight that text. I can make it bold. I can make it a heading to make it bigger, but not a ton of choices. I can center it or justify it if I want to. Okay, as far as decorating this panel, I have a section background, so I can choose. I had an emphasis color. I can make that match that, or I can put an image behind that as well. So I can come here and select an image and make it look different there. It'll change the font based on the image you put up. So if you put a light image, it'll put a dark font. You put a dark image, it's going to keep a light font. So you can kind of adjust that. There's not a whole lot of decoration to do other than change the image background and do stuff like that. You can add anything from your drive. So I'm going to come here, and if there's a document that you're like, I want to put that document on for parents to read, or this file that I want to put on there. So I'm going to come here and say that I want this document down here on the web page. All I have to do is select it and click insert, and it'll move the document over to show up on my web page. So if someone comes in, they will see the document and be able to read that document. Pretty easy. Now, the one catch to documents, I threw that document on there. You can see it showing up on the page. The settings of the document might also have to be changed. You may actually have to go to your Google Drive and change the settings for the document or anything you put on the web page. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go to my Google Drive, and I'm going to find that particular document. I know it's recent because I just used it. So I'll click there. And of course, it's too recent. It's not showing up. So let's go back to Drive. It was called Chromebook Management. So I want to find that document, and I want to go into the document and change the share settings to make sure that that document would be readable. So I'm going to click the share button right there. Who can see it right now on my share settings is anyone at the Lancaster School District with the link can view. That's great if my website is just going to people at the Lancaster School District. If it's going to be for parents, families, I'm going to have to change that. So you'll notice these are all, I got to select more. I'm going to put on public on the web and save. Now that document would be visible to anyone who comes to my webpage that has access to that has the link to the webpage. That's important. You do that with any document you put up on the webpage. If it's a photo that you want the parents to look at, if it's a video that you want them to look at, you have to change the share settings. So I'm going to show you with a video real quick, since I'm in my drive here. Let's say I wanted to share this particular video right here. There is no share button, but if I right click on it, I get the little share icon. I can come in, go to advanced, and change it so that it's public on the web and people can watch it. So if you're putting a video up that you've created or something like that, you have to still change the share settings. Otherwise, it won't be visible by people. Okay. So I'm back at my web page that I'm working on, and I added in that thing. I can change the background again. I can change the emphasis color. Kind of change how that looks. I have these layouts that I can throw up. If you throw a layout up, it just lets you choose to put an image or a YouTube video or things directly into these little squares. Okay. If you've added something and you decide you don't want it, when you have that section, there's a little delete button. That's for every section. You just hit delete and that section will disappear. So it's pretty easy to add and remove things. Okay. Over to the right now again on my insert menu, I can add a table of contents if I wanted to, an image carousel, which would just rotate pictures. Again, you have to be careful of the images. I can add a button. A button would just be like putting a link up or a button that shows up for parents. So I'm going to add a button. What am I going to call it? Link to Lancaster School District. website. And I'm just going to put in where is that website, www.lancsd.org, and I'm going to insert. Now you'll see on my screen that there is a link to Lancaster School District. That button will actually become active on the web page. When it goes on the internet, it would be active where they can click on it and use it. Right now, it's not active. I mean, it's active, but not. You're in the edit mode, so it's not going to show up. Okay. So back to things I can add. I can add a divider. That's just a line that goes across the screen. Okay. I can change that again to emphasis or image or whatever, that dividing line if I want to use it. I can add a YouTube video. This is really cool. You got a website for kids and you want them to watch a YouTube video on a math thing, you can just throw it up here. The nice thing about putting a YouTube video on a web page, so let's say I wanted to find fraction to decimals, right? Sixth grade math concept, fractions to decimals. And let's say this video right here is the one I want them to have. Remember that any video you put on, you should always watch it first in its entirety, make sure it's good. And then you'll notice this video is here on the web page. That would be live. And the nice thing about it is it'll just play that video on the web page. It won't open up YouTube and open up other things. So that's a great way to give kids a video. So that video is just linked from YouTube. You can add your calendar. You can actually add a map. And again, you'll see all the different Google products that you can add. I usually just add them out of my Drive, but you can add a doc or anything there. If you want to add a second page, you just click the page button. You click this plus button and you give your page another name. Let's say you wanted all the videos in one spot. So you want a video button, you just click done. Now you have your home page that you started, and now this video page that you can add videos to, okay? If you want a sub page to a page, okay, I usually try to avoid those. It makes things a little bit more complicated on the navigation. But if I want a sub page, I just click here on the actual video page and then the plus. Okay, and I drop, so I have that math page. I'm now going to drop it onto the video page. Now you'll notice it's associated with the videos. And it's a math. So up here under videos, I have a down arrow. And if I click that, it'll take me to my math one. Okay. So again, that makes the navigation a little trickier. You can have a sub page to a page. If you decide you don't want that, you can, of course, just click on this 3-dot menu that appears over on your page options, and you can delete it. Okay. So now I'm back to just my home page and my video page. Now, let's say you wanted to put a link directly on your page, a link to something else. I did it with a button. I can also do it with a text box. So I'm going to add a text box. And I'm going to tell parents that I want them to go to their Google Drive. I'm going to put Google Drive. Okay, I'm going to highlight that text right there. And now I have this little menu that lets me change the text, but it also says insert link. And I'm going to say drive.google.com and apply. And now that becomes an actual link that someone can click on. So you can actually add a link to almost anything. If you put a picture in and you highlight it, you can add a link to it. So you can do anything you want with that. You've got your page done, and now you kind of want to preview it and make sure that it works. Is it what you want? Up here at the top, there's a preview button. Okay, you'll also notice there's an undo and redo. So if you make a mistake, you can also use those. But I want to preview my page. I click this, and it will actually show you exactly what the page looks like. Okay, everything should work. If I click play on a video, let's start playing the video. If I click a link, it should take me to that link. So it should show you everything, whether or not it works or not. If I click this link down here to Google Drive, it should take me to my Google Drive. So everything that you've set up, it should work in the preview mode. Now, one of the cool things about the preview mode is you also get this little guy here that lets you preview. Right now, it's set for large screen. That tells you what it's going to look like on a computer. If I click this one, it's going to show you what it's going to look like on a tablet. if I click this one, it's going to show you what would your web page look like if a parent accesses it or someone accesses it on a cell phone. Okay, so that's your preview mode. I exit out, I'm back to my edit mode, and I'm looking at my page. Now, a couple other little things that you need to know. Let's say that you're working on this web page with other people. I have a collaborator, a share button right here. I click that. I can actually invite in other people to work on this document, just like I did uh, any doc, any Google Slides. I would just type in the name. So if I want to share this with Joe Schmo, I type in Joe Schmo, and hopefully his email address would pop up, and I send them a notification, and they would now have whatever access I get them, edit or view, depending upon what I want them to see. But if they're working on it with me, they want edit mode, I send it, and they would have access to it. Okay. So that you can add a collaborator to your web page. That's important to know in case you want to add someone in. The main thing once you're done is you want to be able to publish your web page. You want to get it out there so people can use it. There's a big blue publish button right up here. If you go to that publish button, it's going to ask you, what is your web address? I like to keep it as simple as possible, so I'm going to call this Zon20. It'll tell you if it's available or not. Zon1 is, oh, that's available now too. Zon1 is available. Just make it short, easy. You'll notice that there's more to your web address. It's down here, https sites.google.com, lancsd.org. That's and Zon1. So that whole thing would have to be given out to parents. Okay, now you can copy that there, or you can copy it another place that I'll show you in a minute. Then it says, who can view my site? Right now it says anyone at the Lancaster School District. Well, that's going to be a problem if it's going outside the Lancaster School District. So again, I'm going to click Manage, and you'll notice it says Published, anyone at the Lancaster School District. I'm going to change that to anyone can find my website, and I'm going to save it. That's important. You're going to give this to parents. They have to be able to access it. Okay. Same thing, like I said, all the documents. Everything has to be open up so that a parent or someone can get to it. So now I've changed it so anyone can see it. I'm going to say done. You'll notice who can view my site. It now says anyone. I also have this search setting box right here where it says request public search engines do not display my site. I usually click that so it doesn't show up on Yahoo or Google. It only goes out to the people that I send the link to. Okay. That's a personal preference. I taught middle school, and the kids will search your name, and I didn't want all my websites to pop up for kids to see them all and give me a hard time. So I just didn't want that to show up on websites. So I'm going to say publish. Now that is published, you'll notice next to the publish button is a down arrow. That down arrow will show you where you can view published sites. You can unpublish it. Okay. Those are two things you can do. It shows you your published settings right here. Again, now I can copy that web address right here and copy it and paste it to give it out. Okay. I can also hit the preview mode, which now gives me a published link site that I can copy the link. Okay, that's the preview mode brings me here, and I can also see what that looks like. But next to it now is the copy the published link website, where you can copy that link to send it out. That's an easy way. So now let's say this is published, a week's gone by, and you want to make some changes to your website. So I'm going to delete that document and this video. Parents no longer need it. And I'm going to add a different document. So I come in, and let's say it's going to be their weekly homework or whatever it is. I go into my drive. I wait for stuff to show up. And I want them to have this right here, the slideshow. Of course, remember that I have to go in and change the settings so that parents can access it. I have to do that from the drive. There's also presentation settings for slideshow. I can choose it to auto start, so it starts automatically when someone gets there, and I can loop the playback so it keeps going, starting slide 1 and done. That way it'll play automatically, or I can just leave it up there for them to access. Okay, that's kind of depending upon what you want it to do. So I've added this now. it does not go live right away on the website until you republish it. So I'm going to click this publish button again, and you will see what happens. It pops up with what's currently published right here on the page. What is currently published, that's the stuff that I had there originally, and the new stuff that's going to go up. As soon as I publish it, it's making the changes. Now the new stuff is live. So anytime you make a change to your website, it doesn't become live till you republish it. That's very important to remember. Okay. So I've done all that. And let's say at the end of the year, I want to take my website down. Okay. Your website will still stay in the sites.google.com as a tile that you can access, but I can come in here, I can unpublish it. It's no longer going to be an active link that anyone can get to. It's unpublished. And then I can republish it again next year. I can make changes, brand new class, come in, republish it, give them all the link, and it's active again. So that website will stay at your sites.google.com as a little tile. Okay. If I go back to sites.google.com, I click on the new Google Sites, because remember, there's the old one and the new one. You're working in the new one. That website I just created is right here as a little tile. I can access it and work on it. Remember, it's unpublished now. It's not going to be active, but it's also here where I can edit it and I can republish it. If I'm done with it, I can remove it, and now it's actually gone and moved to trash where I don't work on it anymore. So that's a little bit about Google Sites. Hopefully that helps you out if you want to make a web page or do something with it. And again, anytime if you're working on something, you have a question, contact me or any of your ed tech coaches, and we'll be able to help you out.